as well try and bring a bunch of questions in writing, which I hope that you will respond to as quickly as possible. I know that with bureaucracy can take some time, but the faster these answers come back to us, the better, I think, for everyone. And Administrator Long, one of the things that I brought up in the opening statement, and I'm hoping you can give me some definition for, is who is responsible and what is the timeline for the modular units that are going to the schools as well as to the hospitals in the Virgin Islands?
So ultimately, in my opinion, the governor, of the Virgin Islands, Governor Mapp, is responsible. It's my job to make sure that he has the mechanisms and the funding to do so, and we're working very closely with him. But I'd be happy to respond in
I would
writing
appreciate
about
that,
the whole entire process.
because it seems like a circular discussion. Department of Education says they're waiting for FEMA. FEMA says they're waiting for this, and so the people want to know who it is. So I appreciate that. In terms of the discussion about full federal cost share, you have received the request. I know the White House has received the request. Do we know when there will be an answer as to whether or not the Virgin Islands will receive an extension of time for full cost share for debris removal?
I do not know. Obviously, I don't control the White House, but I can obviously reach out to them as well to see where we are in queue.
I wanted to know if you were aware, however, that under the Insular Area Acts, all federal agencies have the discretion to waive local match for insular areas, defined to include the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico for federal funding programs. Has FEMA sought to exercise this express statutory discretion to waive the local match for all disaster funding for the U.S. Virgin Islands?
I believe that that's a request that's got to come in from the governor, and I'm not sure that we've received any request to do so. If so, I'll go back and check.
Okay. And the reason I'm asking this is, of course, that, the insular areas have long had underfunding and under-inclusion across a litany of programs. And when you're facing a disaster such as this, that kind of express statutory discretion that you have would seem to be the appropriate time to do so. And, this is again, what you just said was something that, again, I brought up in my opening statement, is that you're waiting for a request from Governor Mapp. And oftentimes, I'm not sure if governors and other individuals in these areas know that they can make these specific requests. And the tension between FEMA and the local agencies are such that you wonder, our governor is spending money on having outside consultants come and consult him about what is he supposed to requesting. And it seems that it's not the most efficient use of funding.
Congresswoman, so, my approach is, in my FCOs, who play an incredibly important role, I have asked them, and in their training, their sole purpose is to go out and say, Governor, this is what you're entitled to. This is based on this event. And if they're not doing that, then that's on me. I can go back and check.
Right.
But we never hold back things. It's our job to administer the Stafford Act and the policies that are out there. We have no reason to hold anything back. FEMA is not the enemy of a governor or of the disaster survivor.
Well, under FEMA, just that last question, and when you mentioned the Stafford Act, what is your position, and do you have would you support an extension of the FEMA, of Stafford Act language, so that it is not only bringing resilience to those things that are considered emergency, which is defined as power, water, communications, and education, but would also extend to other public assistance projects such as roads and public housing?
I'm not sure I understand the question, because we do fix roads and
No. So what I'm
housing
asking
under
is
emergency provision.
an amendment to the Stafford Act, which would provide for embedding resilience. The resilience that you are now going to bring to areas such as power and water and communications
Right.
does not extend necessarily to roads and public housing.
Right.
Would you be in favor or supportive of an amendment that addresses that in the Stafford Act to bring that as well? And
I'm
go
all
back
for
to-
resilience. Let me be honest. I'm all for resilience, because I want to reduce the job. I mean, we need to work FEMA out of a job over, through resilience and mitigation. I believe that the 428 program, which is something that's on the table with the governor as well, allows for more alternative projects and resilience projects to be built in. The Stafford Act may allow us to do that for the roadway systems, but that's a conversation that we can have offline as well, if you'd like, and I can explain that.
General Lady's time has expired.
Mr.
I want
Chairman?
to thank the
Mr.
witnesses.
Chairman, I'd like to put three questions